Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an exciting week of Upsurge Premier League action. This week we've got Horizon Esports up against 100 Thieves next. But before we get into that, I'm David Seymour Rabinovich, and alongside me I've got Jack Goforino Capone. How are we doing today, Jack?
Pretty good. Pleasure to be on the desk with you tonight as we are about to get into the game tonight of Horizon Esports versus 100 Thieves Next, as you mentioned, which should be very interesting because you were mentioning before that 100 Thieves Next, while they look strong, that Horizon Esports, they're probably going to be the ones to give 100 Thieves a run for their money, perhaps, this series.
Absolutely, and that's going to be on the backs of the mid jungle combination that Horizon Esports have. But again, across the entire lineup, Horizon Esports looks solid as a whole. Last week they did face up against Vital Point Esports, I believe, and that match went 2-1 in the favor of Horizon Esports. While 100 Thieves Next did take Vital Point Esports all the way to the max with a 2-0 defeat, with a 2-0 victory over Vital Point. It's still going to be the only team that I think can kind of give 100 Thieves a run for their money because they've been looking absolutely phenomenal.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, they definitely do have the talent on their roster because, I mean, for one, Kenvi, the jungler for 100 Thieves, is, as of just a few hours ago, ranked 19 on the North American solo queue ladder, which, I mean, sure, it's early in the season, so
Yeah.
maybe things haven't quite settled down completely yet, but still, ranked 19 in all of North America, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, to be honest, anyone really listed in the top 100 is already an amazing high caliber player, and to be ranked 19 out of even the top 25 is just an amazing specimen to have on your roster. And to even think that potentially some academy players may not even hit top rank 25 this season. Now, mind you, they do have academy to kind of look after, but that's still an amazing feat to kind of look into, considering I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this entire 100 Thieves Next roster is primarily all still in high school. So they got classes they got to keep up with. They got part-time jobs potentially. And here they are. Here we have Kenvi, rank 19. But we're going to head right into the draft here, ladies and gentlemen, of game number 1 of Horizon Esports up against 100 Thieves Next.
Yep, and it will be Horizon Esports leading off the pick and ban right now. As it is going to be the Syndra first, which is very interesting because, I mean, Horizon's AD carry Otto, he has been playing a few mages bot recently with the Heimer and the Syndra. Not too many games, mind you, just a couple here and there, but it's enough for Horizon Esports to give it a respect ban, which is interesting. Although it could also be targeted towards copy in the mid lane, so don't know exactly yet.
We are seeing a little bit of a jungle pinch, and I kind of expected the Yuumi ban to come out with 10.3 being in full swing. We did see Yuumi on stage, I believe, yesterday, or at least in this weekend at the LCS, and just a couple of little buffs to her Q that is making her a little bit more potent in lane or bringing her back into flavor. But taking it out is going to create the opportunity for Poom, who really, really likes to play these engage and protective supports that like to kind of get up in your face. But the Soraka pick going to go over first, which I'm going to assume is going to head into the top lane here for undefeated one for Horizon Esports.
Yeah, although, of course, the Soraka can always be flexed to the support because TSM Blux, even though he is a very hardcore Yuumi player, he has played a decent amount of other champions too in the support role. So, don't know that Soraka can be flexed bottom, but like you said, Soraka top has been the biggest rage of League for the past few weeks, and it's even getting nerfed in the patch that's coming out tomorrow. But still in 10.34 tonight.
Stone Whippin on Horizon Esports has put quite the showing on last week on Jarvan, so I'm quite liking the strategic pick and ban draft here from 100 Thieves Next, taking it away, kind of a comfort pick. He might default back to his Rek'Sai, but we'll kind of have to see. And the Xayah here picked up for Otto, an incredibly comfortable pick, which I'm going to assume will be paired up here with the Rakan, but we'll have to kind of wait and see if Horizon takes it away.
Yeah, for sure. But they do lock in the Rakan now for the side of Horizon. That does basically show that it is a Soraka top lane, and that can lead the side of Horizon Esports just getting hard countered in that top lane, because we all know top lane is one of the most counterable lanes in League of Legends. In fact, probably the most according to most people. So if you show your hand that early, especially with Soraka, who can potentially get super punished, can fall behind. That could be a big detriment. But, like you said, it is going to be defaulting here to the Rek'Sai 4 Stone Weapon.
Ooh, and the Rakan, I love when caster predictions come out. The Rakan comes out here for Boom, and he really loves those engaged supports. And that Xayah Rakan duo was an absolute threat in week 1 against Vital Point, and it's going to be shown here on stage for the third week, of the Ocean Division, and it's going to be now heading into the second ban phase here with Leona being taken off the table. To be fair, did receive a few nerfs in this most recent patch, but still a potent threat that they don't want to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. And not to mention the Leona can be a Rakan counter, because every time Rakan goes in with the Grand Entrance, you just use the shielded 8-break and bop him in the nose, and the Rakan doesn't exactly have the best of times. So just taking that off the table, making life easier in the bot lane.
Yes. The Gangplank here going to be taken away from Undefeated One. He did show it last week, and it does seem to be a comfort pick. He might default off to the Jax. He just kind of likes to split push and be away from the team. The Camille going to be taken away from Tenacity. He does kind of like to play a champion with a little bit of mechanical prowess. He might default to the Aatrox. It is possible it can be flexed to mid here for Copy as well. And the Fiora played last week as well, really, really strong here for Tenacity, but going to be taken away from Horizon. But let's see what the first pick here is for either mid or top for 100 Thieves. And it's going to be quite important to see how that will shape the draft here in the second half.
Yeah, for sure, because this is going to tell a lot, and it is going to be the Ornn top lane locked in. So Horizon Esports, they'll see if they actually want to put this Soraka top lane, because Ornn does actually bring a lot of damage as a tank, and Soraka can't exactly harass him out of lane as well. And granted, you aren't picking Soraka because she's a harassing machine that just kind of pokes you out of lane.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Soraka doesn't exactly solo kill you, usually. Especially if you're an Ornn.
Yeah, and to be fair, you're going to need a little bit of a tankier front line if you're going to run Soraka, and that's going to be the Braum hover into the lock-in, which does confirm Soraka top. There's no way in heavens that I would see a Soraka mid. So it's safe to assume that the Braum's going to be there in the bot lane, which, again, you're going to need some type of tankier front line in order for Soraka to work. That silence is going to be absolutely detrimental in choke points or skirmishes in the jungle. But that last pick here, we're going to wait as it times out here. And the Echo going to be thrown into the mid lane up against 100 Thieves, and we're going to have to see what they pick here.
Yeah, because that Echo has been a fairly big pick here for iStupid. I believe we saw it earlier last week or the week before that. I can't remember exactly. But still a very huge pick for the side of Horizon Esports. And as we go through this series, I have seen them actually flex that Echo to the jungle before. So who knows? It might actually be up for ban depending on how well this game number 1 goes for the side of Horizon Esports. But final pick of the draft will be that Cassiopeia.
Yeah, and we can see that the draft has kind of unfolded completely for both teams, and some players may have gotten their comfort picks and some not. But from 100 Thieves next, it does really look and feel like it's a standard LCS draft for 100 Thieves as compared to Horizon Esports, where I feel like some comfort picks have definitely come out. You don't really see too much of the Rek'Sai in today's meta, considering the junglers have been primarily, aggressive. We got the Lee Sins, the Elises, and the Rek'Sai's not really being picked as much anymore, but still a potent threat. But we'll have to see how Stone Whippin performs. It is, again, his comfort pick, and he might be able to do wonders against the J4.
Yeah, especially since I believe if you time the Unborrow correctly, you can take Jarvan out of the Flag and Dread combo. I'm pretty sure you can do that, and it should also work against the Rakan. I'm not 100% sure, though, so don't take my word on it.
Oh, you mean the W, Rakan's W? You're able potentially to stop the W? You mean with the Unburrow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. That's definitely going to be very impactful, considering Rakan's job here is obviously to get to the back line. It's going to be a little bit difficult to get everybody into one place. Like, he's really only going to have good luck with Misfortune and Soraka and obviously the Braum, because he's going to be kind of in the front of things. But Echo is always going to be kind of off to the side, trying to get a couple of picks inside the team fight. He's not really going to be easy to lock down, so I'm guessing the Rakan should help with that at the very bare minimum. But walk me through a little bit about what both win conditions are for these teams. And let's start with Horizon Esports. What do you think they're going to be looking to do in order to take the win here in this first game?
Well, obviously, since you do have a double support, that does speak a lot to keeping your carriers alive and having them do all the damage for you. So we might actually see a pseudo quote unquote protect the misfortune composition here. Um, Not sure how well that would work out since misfortune is usually just drop your ulti in team fights and have that go well, and then usually bada bing, bada boom, you're done.
Yeah.
But on the side of 100 Thieves Next, like you said, very standard composition. They have a very good 5 versus 5 team fight. They have a very good system of control with the Ornn ultimate, the Jarvan ultimate, and the Cassiopeia Petrifying Gaze. Not to mention the recombos. So definitely a lot of ways 100 Thieves Next has a way to start the fights, and that's what they're going to be looking for.
Yeah, you really can see kind of this wombo combo form from 100 Thieves Next, like you were saying. But what that tells me is that they're obviously going to want a team fight. They're going to fight for objectives. You're going to see the Dragon take into potentially, if they're able to pull it off, the top rotation into the Rift Herald take. Whereas, I mean, Horizon obviously can kind of team fight as well, but they're, like you said, looking for a little bit more of an extended fight with protecting Misfortune. But we'll have to see kind of how it pans out. It will obviously be on the backs of how the junglers decide to play out this early game. And why don't you talk to me a little bit about that matchup? Because it does look like, based on last week's results and really the week prior, it's the jungle that's going to be kind of the main focus here, as Kenvi is a phenomenal jungler, like you've been saying. But not to mention, Stone Whippin seems to be like the highlight of the team. So why don't you walk me through what do you expect kind of the jungle matchup to look like?
Well, obviously, both junglers, they are going to be looking for some form of early ganks, because we all know Jarvan, he has very strong level 2 and level 3 ganks with the Flag and Drag, but also, of course, the Rek'Sai has really potent ganks as well, since with Rek'Sai, you do just have that option to come from kind of practically anywhere due to the tunnel mechanics, so it is going to be very interesting to see how they path and what lanes they decide to gank first and what they want to try and get ahead. Um, if I were on the side of Horizon Esports for Stone Whippin, I would be looking towards the bot and mid primarily because Soraka top lane, I don't know,
You're
will
not
you
really
have the
gonna,
damage
yeah,
to kill that Ornn?
yeah,
Might be a little hard, but
yeah,
also if you get a Soraka ahead in top lane, it's nice and all, but that Soraka top lane isn't exactly your win condition. Whereas on the side of 100 Thieves Next, well, Kenvi might be wanting to go to the bot lane to get the Zyra Khan combo way ahead. Maybe go to the top lane because if that Ornn just gets way too unkillable and Horizon Esports can't exactly kill him, then hey,
yeah.
maybe that's a win condition too. So we will have to see.
Yeah, and really, we've seen Ornn time and time again, especially at the highest level of play, sometimes be capable of turning ganks around. So it's even more of a negative to come to that top side. You definitely want to. I think if anything, I would probably focus more on the mid lane more than the bot lane. Of course, Otto and Poom are phenomenal players, and they've shown that for the past 2 weeks. But Cassiopeia is definitely not as mobile. Um, as Echo is, and I think Echo is going to be able to follow up with Rek'Sai a lot better. I would almost turn that into some type of roam to that bot lane. If you can get a 4-man dive bot, you can definitely really start to turn up the heat on this bot lane, considering Otto and Poom are just an absolute unstoppable force. And not to mention, I think they were the duo that won the Tyler 1 Cup not too long ago. So, again, bot lane is definitely the one that they're going to scrap the most, but that jungler roam is going to be potentially looking to. I'm hoping for a dive bot potentially, but what the players are not hoping for, well, actually, what they are hoping for is a brand new keyboard. Keyboards here. We got Kono keyboards here for the Upsurge Premier League. If you're looking to take your game to the next level, it all starts with your peripherals. From keyboards to keycaps, mice, and more, our friends at Kono have got you covered. Kono works with the world's best designers, inventors, and makers to bring you some of the best gaming peripherals around. Kono have been huge supporters of us here at Upsurge and have made generous contributions to our prize pool, even this one. If you need to find a new keyboard and more for your setup, we can't recommend anyone better than Kono. You can use the discount code UpsurgeGG for 7% off your first order. For more information, head over to Kono.store to check out all that they have to offer. That's KONO.store. Kono, discover amazing products. Well, before we head into this match, as we are kind of nearing that duration, I think we have maybe 30 seconds to a minute and before gameplay. Both these teams, I kind of love the draft that they put together. I'm excited to see how it all pans out. Considering both teams, I think, built out a little bit more of like a team fight comp. Obviously, Soraka is going to be able to keep her entire team sustained. But I usually hate when I see a team fight comp and then a skirmish comp. Both teams are kind of doing other things to try to get their win condition. But this time we're going to see some brutal, bloody fights in the Dragon Pit, in the Baron Pit, potentially to try to force Rift on bot or top turret. I'm just excited to see it.
Yeah, for sure, same. Because, like you said, these are pretty explosive team fights we have here. The Ornhorn, the Rakambo, the Cataclysm, not to mention Bullet Time, Time Winder. Just a lot of stuff you have to keep track of, and a lot of stuff that can just absolutely blow up a team fight any which way for either of these teams.
Now, if you're Horizon Esports, you're obviously looking at 100 Thieves next. You might be even shaking in your boots, to be honest. You have this big org that's put together, this amateur team that is, in my opinion, quite deadly. What do you do as Horizon Esports to try to prepare yourself for this game, and what should your game plan be kind of going into this match?
Well,
or maybe, sorry to interrupt, maybe even the whole series. Kind of like what should be your mindset?
Well, obviously, good research will always go a long way in good preparations. But as for the series, I'm not entirely sure, because I think Horizon, they're just going to have to figure out what works for them that works against 100 Thieves. Because if they find that and find something that 100 Thieves just can't answer to whatsoever, then that's just an easy series pickup for you, or a much easier series for you if they end up having to ban the strategy. So that could be one potential way into this. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts?
I really think that is one, like you said, one route. The other route I think might be to try to draft better than 100 Thieves next. Obviously, they have a very phenomenal roster that is capable of a variety of things, of a big champion pool, so to speak. But I believe we are about to head into the match.
Yep, here we are. Everybody is loaded all hunky-dory into Summoner's Rift as we are into game number 1 of this series between Horizon Esports and 100 Thieves next. Both teams just going for that very standard 5-man fan. But interestingly enough, it looks like Tenacity is going to be playing Cassiopeia in the top lane versus the Soraka of Undefeated One.
Wow.
So that is definitely a huge twist.
Yeah, and they pulled something off like this in the first week against Vital Point, where Aatrox was actually flexed to the mid lane and played by Copy, which is obviously usually flexed, well, not flexed, but usually picked up into the top lane. We do see a little bit of an engage here to poke out Misfortune, and that's going to feel really good, but they should be able to still get back to lane in time. But Poom is getting an aggressive deep ward here, and actually Horizon's not going to stop this, and that's going to give him some good information here in this early game.
Yeah, for sure, because, I mean, keeping track of the junglers, like we were mentioning champs like that, those are the players we're having our eyes on in this match, and just having your literal eyes on them with wards in game will help you a lot in diffusing any potential impact they may have. But it does look like that ward actually got cleared out by Stone Whip and Sweeper Lens there.
Yeah.
And both junglers just going to be starting on their respective red buffs.
That's going to be really, really good, because they might not be able to tell the jungle pathing now, or even if there was a leash. I mean, it's safe to assume that there was a leash by all means. But I'm really liking this lane swap from Tenacity and Copy. It's going to make Soraka have a little bit of a harder time, I think, up in the lane, because while, you know, the sustained game is kind of what Soraka is looking to accomplish, but when Tenacity's running at you, constantly sending fangs your way, you might not survive that long.
Yeah, for sure, because one of the reasons why Soraka does very well in the top lane right now is that you're typically against melee champions who aren't able to get onto the best always, but I mean, Cassiopeia is able to match your range and very easily able to out DPS you with those Twin Fangs, especially if you land a Miasma. Here comes Stone Whipping into the bot lane, though.
Ooh, he's looking for that knockup, but they still haven't committed. Flash comes out here from Otto. They decide to knock up Rakan. The heal comes out, and here comes Jarvan. They're looking to capitalize onto the Rakan. The first blood comes over to Misfortune, and actually they don't continue the fight. And Horizon Esports ones up 100 Thieves in this early game, and that's got to feel good taking out the support.
Yeah, and the first blood went to Cillian there. If we do want to quickly go into replay, just to go over that first blood once more in that gank, as we can see, here's Stone Whipping. Early into the gank, and all the damage being focused right onto Poom, but Kenvi comes in with the counter gank. It looks like they're going to be able to turn it around, but Cillian able to get that last auto in, and crucial flashes were up there for TSM Plux and Stone Whipping, so they could get out of the said gank as well.
Yes. Now, I do have to mention, though, that although they did get a kill, did go over to a Cillian, like you said, but Stone Whipping's level 2, and Kenvi's already double the CS in level 3. That's, I mean, obviously, you know, Kenvi stuck around and took some CS from the lane, but now he's going to be able to snowball that experience lead, I believe, if he continues to take camps, and he's got that momentum kind of in his favor. Now, again, Stone Whipping, kudos to him to try to get that early gank. I'm pretty sure 100 Thieves was not expecting it. But now you got to make a return there and keep 100 Thieves on your toes.
Because if you can shut down the bot lane, that can be pretty huge, because we're talking about how big the combo of Otto and Poom have been for 100 Thieves previous games in Upsurge. So keeping them down, it might keep down a win condition, who knows. Although currently, health is in the favor of the 100 Thieves bot lane, since they were able to get back onto Poom with his death. And just the general low health from the gank damage on Cillian and Plux really coming in. But we do have Kenvi in the vicinity looking for a potential dive, actually. And Stone Whipping, he is a little while out.
Ooh, here's going to be the double man knockup from Poom. And I don't even need to blink and you miss it. The double kill going over to 100 Thieves. 1 kill going over to Kenvi and 1 going over to Otto. You couldn't have asked for a better distribution. But they might actually look for more. A Stone Whipping's trying to poke his head, but not actually going to defend that turret, and a couple of plates might go over. But the jungle here, as Kenvi falls a little low, but manages to take the big Krug and backs off.
Yeah, and that was just a very instantaneous gank there. No summoners for either of Horizon's bot laners there, and without flashes, without the heal, it was very easy to execute that onto half-health Squishies. Because even at this point in the game, TSM Plux on the Braum, he's not insanely... Oh, that's just a full-on solo kill in the mid lane. I thought Copy was out of that one, but one last chunk of damage gonna take him down thanks to iStupid. So, gonna even up the kills once again as Stone Whipping is making his way onto this Earth Dragon. Kenvi is doing the wolf, so he would be able to respond to this, but there's a chance that 100 Thieves, they just don't know this is going on right now.
Yeah, I think it was just perfectly timed. While the bot lane did back off, this allowed the bot lane that was returning from their death to be able to time out this dragon, and it really is just poor timing on the side of 100 Thieves. Not something that they really could have avoided. Unlike that bot lane gank, which I think really could have been avoided if Stone Whipping could have just predicted that Kenvi was going to be bot lane. I mean, with Sums down, you can almost expect the dive is going to happen in some way, shape, or form. But that solo kill in the mid lane here from iStupid, he's just going to feel good and look good as Copy's trying to find his footing in this mid lane.
Yeah,
getting a little bit of damage.
Yeah, that is Ornn for you. He has a ton of damage for a tank, and once he completes that Abyssal Mask, it'll make his life magnitudes easier in the middle lane, just with that extra huge chunk of magic resist. But for now, iStupid, he's probably going to back here. Yep, there's the Hextech Revolver, and probably a little bit more. No, just going to be the Control Word. Still, though, much more damage on this Echo, and he might be able to get even more solo kills here before Copy is able to finish magic resist.
So far, we're not really going to see a whole lot going on in the top lane. Just a little gentleman's agreement between Cassiopeia and Soraka, but a little bit of a CS lead starting to kind of run away here for Cassiopeia, but that's kind of to be expected, as Cassiopeia is obviously looking to kind of zone out the Soraka, but we do see Stone Whipping He's making his way down to this bot side. Copy kind of looking to roam down, but just sets a ward. Kenvy's going to be in the nearby vicinity to support his bot lane by taking this blue buff here. But so far, nothing too exciting here as we are at the 8-minute mark with no real gold lead, but both teams looking to try to create advantages for each other, for themselves rather. iStupid predicting that blue buff, and now going to be pinched here by Copy. Here's going to be the flag and drag coming out. That's going to be the knockup that actually connects, and iStupid is looking like he's in trouble. The ult comes out, and here comes the Cataclysm and the ultimate as well from Soraka. Not able to heal up iStupid enough, and he actually falls here, and the kill going over to Copy. Going to help him out here in this lane. So far, so good here.
Coming out
for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, pretty good so far. 3-2 for 100 Thieves with a 1,000 gold lead. Certainly is going to feel nice, especially with the free farming Cassiopeia in the top lane here for Tenacity, as everything else just going to be a little calm. But Stone Whippin', he is hanging out around the top lane. He should be spotted by this ward in that top rush. But, ooh, are we going to see it? No, just a little bit of howdy ho and walking away.
Ooh, the silence going to be coming out here. And Tenacity still holding strong. As Kenvy's looking to potentially hit that mid lane one more time with a flashless Echo. Ooh, this might be the opportunity. The Ornn is stunned here, but the knockup might actually connect. Here's going to be the flag and drag. They managed to get iStupid. He's looking like he's in trouble. And Copy gets himself a second kill here in the mid lane. And actually a fight breaks out in the ball lane. But ironically goes to the favor of 100 Thieves as the HP bars of TSM Plux and Asilian don't look too healthy. But let's have a quick look at that replay just to kind of see how that mid lane gank unfolded.
Yep, as we see here, again, just the dash being down. That was basically all she wrote for iStupid there, and easy pickup there. Not even needing the Cataclysm or Ornhorn. So, just basically a free kill there. And
you missed a little bit of action.
And Glory.
Soraka and Tenacity fallen here in the process, and actually taking away the blue buff from Stone Whippin'.
Yes, decently huge, because that means iStupid won't have the blue buff in the mid lane for infinite clearing. And that will make his life harder, although he does have the Corrupting Potion, which it'll still give him a pretty decent amount of mana sustain, especially with the Doran's Ring as well.
Now, as we are kind of approaching, you know, the Rift Herald timing, so to speak, Horizon Esports is down quite a bit of gold. In fact, 2,000 gold to be in fact. Is there anything that Horizon needs to start thinking about in order to try to turn this around here a little bit? Try to gain some momentum back in their favor?
I mean, a lot of it will probably come down to Stone Whippin'. He is soloing out the Rift Herald right now, so that is going to be a huge boon for his team if he is able to grab that and get a free tower, or a bunch of tower plates off the back of it. Keep in mind, though, on the opposite end of the map, the Cloud Dragon did just spawn, so both teams might be eyeing that up, but currently 100 Thieves are the ones with priority on it, and they are going to hear the Rift Herald go down. So this is probably just going to be an objective trade with Stone Whippin' going to the top lane to drop the Rift Herald and potentially kill Tenacity. And if they're able to get Rift Herald plus all those plates and a first tower, that would be absolutely massive for the side of Horizon.
Now they are 4 stacking in this top lane, actually 3 stacking, my apologies. Soraka is heading down to that bot side. But you are correct, and Tenacity does back off here a little bit. They're going to knock a few plates off first before they spawn the Rift Herald in order to secure this turret. But you can see that the bot lane is answering, and they managed to kill Soraka in the process, and they're going to try to take out this turret, or in fact really just answer back for a turret, because only 2 plates remain on that bot side turret for Horizon.
Yeah, not entirely sure what happened in the bot lane, because Boom didn't even have to use Flash or the quickness there, and Kenvy didn't use the Cataclysm as far as I can tell. Potentially he did, though. But either way, it just looks like a classic case of Undefeated One got caught with his pants down, and kind of hard to beat 3 people as a lone Soraka.
This top tier turret's going to have actually a little bit of HP taken out of it. And they're really committing to this Rift Herald play as the bot lane turret does eventually fall. And it does kind of look like both teams have declared zones for themselves. This top side being Horizon zone and this bot side being 100 Thieves zone. Gonna make Ice Stupid kind of the last line of defense here, and he's gonna find himself in a scuffle with Kenvi, and gonna be trying to escape, but misses the flag and drag, and the shutdown goes over to Ice Stupid, and he's gonna be feeling good about that one. The solo kill with Stone Whipping just providing some very nice support.
Yeah, that was a huge kill, like you said. That 3-0 Jarvan now down. That was a 300 gold bounty, so basically 2 kills worth of gold going right into Ice Stupid's pockets as this Echo. So pretend the score right now is 3-2 versus 2-1. So technically that means Ice Stupid is ahead in gold, if you're not counting anything from objectives or CS and whatnot.
Turret plating will fall soon.
Now you're going to see this bot side here for 100 Thieves rotate to that top side. Try to answer back with the turret. Not exactly sure if they're going to be able to finish this one off. I don't think so, considering Ice Stupid's making his way topside. Boom's going to be a little late to the party. And Ice Stupid, I think, is going to try to take out Otto in the process. At least try to. The ultimate going to be coming out here from Otto. Just used defensively as the rest of the team manages to join the party. And I hope they brought leftovers, because Otto is going to be making his way out as Ice Stupid clears that wave. Just a little bit of a standard reset here, as 2 minutes until Dragon and no real objectives other than turrets out on the field for these teams to kind of take, because it does look like they're rotating a lot.
Yeah, and there should also be a Rift Herald coming up somewhat soonish, about 2 minutes till the next Dragon, so that is going to be definitely something to look at here. Although another thing I do want to look at here is the difference between AD carry builds. Since Asilion did opt for the triple Doran's blade, it does mean he has an entire BF sword down and Zerkers on Otto, which is going to be very huge in team fights. So we'll have to see how well the triple Doran gamble pays off, because you feel like at least one of those could have been a long sword that you would use to work towards that Essence Reaver.
I'm starting to think that this bot lane just doesn't want to be in the same lane as Otto and Poom, and these lane swaps are continuously running around like a circus, and the pony's just going round and around, and really I think they're just trying to get enough gold, like you said, to try to get to that point. But Otto here in a little bit of trouble. Ice Stupid's looking to get that kill. Here comes the Oran Horn, and they're going to get a double man knockup. Poomy's just trying to provide support off to the side. Kenvi gets stuck in his own Cataclysm, and they're starting to drop like flies. The Zonya's going to be used here, and Tenacity's in a little bit of trouble. Here's going to be the ultimate from Rek'Sai. They're managing to try to take him out, and Stone Whippin's in a little bit of trouble. An undefeated one manages to take that one. And what looked like to be kind of the momentum in 100 Thieves' favor, Horizon comes back with a 3-piece. And potentially now here, the turret.
Yeah, and the unsung hero of that team fight was Undefeated One, as we are going to go into replay here. Oh, right. Okay. Thought we had a little bit more of action, but here we go. Just the start of the team fight, instantly taking out Otto and using the ultimate to get out of there for Ice Stupid. And then just look at all these heals coming out from Undefeated One. Sure, they're able to get through Ice Stupid, but there's just so many extra bits of health bars being added on. And then Tenacity, he's just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. Had his team been able to win that team fight, that would have been a nasty flank. But sadly, his team was on the retreat, so he's just kind of facing down 4 enemy team members. And that was a very easy kill to pick up.
Yeah, I do believe... Is this the Dragon Soul? Or is it the next one? I think... Oh, the Dragon Soul, I think, already spawned, I think.
Yeah, it will be the Ocean this game.
Oh, okay, Ocean,
although
yes.
Do you think the Observer, or Spectator client's a little bugged, because we're supposed to be seeing more bushes, but I only see the flowers.
Yeah, that's why I was a little bit confused, but we are going to have to stop that confusion for a little bit, as we do see a scuffle here in the river. They're starting to kind of heat things up. The bot lane is split off. Rek'Sai and Echo are off to the side. They're going to clear some vision here, but Ice Stupid's looking to get engaged on here. Pumi is going to be trying to run away here. Poom Gonna try to lead the engage here as Kenvi stepping up forward, gets the knockup and the Cataclysm combo onto the Misfortune, but the bullet time is gonna shred the front line. And Kenvi here, the knockup is gonna get double members up, and Rek'Sai with the double kill, but they're still trying to turn this around. Otto here is completely untouched. The Soraka still alive, keeping their members alive, and Otto copy on the retreat. They're not gonna be able to get away from this one as iStupid's gonna be on the hunt here. And he's going to try to get that last kill and absolutely explodes Otto here in the process. And now Copy is going to be the last member to fall. Oh, psych. That's the wrong number. Copy's going to be able to get away with that one. But the Dragon here potentially going to be going over Horizon. They decide to opt in here for the turret, but still, beautiful fight going over to Horizon Esports.
Yeah, and keep in mind, 100 Thieves actually engaged that with Kenvi going in with the Cataclysm, but he didn't really have anything else after that and just ate a full bullet time. And this Jarvan, with no armor, gets a little shredded by a full channel bullet time. Who'd have thunk?
And you were talking a little bit about the itemization. I don't really think that matters in the grand scheme of things for the bullet time. It's not a lethality build, right? So it's really the auto attacks that are going to start to finish off the members. But the bullet time still at this level is going to be something not to scoff at. But the Dragon here are going to be the objective that 100 Thieves is looking to trade for the Rift Herald as Stone Whippin's on the other side, collecting that up for his team.
Yeah, very interesting. The trade objectives, that means they are going to have to get something with that Rift Herald to make it worth, because that Ocean Dragon is going to be continuously ticking throughout the game, and the Rift Herald is just a one-and-done thing, as we all know. Oh, TSM Plux actually gets the big up there. That is about 70 gold denied, so hey, that's a free control word on his next back.
Yeah. Now, one thing that we've been seeing a lot is, I believe the item's called Guardian Stoneplate, where when you're around three members... Sorry?
Gargoyle Stoneplate?
Sorry, yes, I mean Gargoyle's Stoneplate. The item where you get a bonus in armor and magic resist when you're around three players, I think? Three
or more enemies.
Three or more enemies. We've been seeing it built a lot more and more on these tankier supports, but Braum opting in for the Locket, or at least part of it. Do you think that's the right itemization here for TSM Plux, or is there anything else that he should kind of be looking out for against this roster?
I mean, the Locket, lost words for a second there, but all honky-dory. The Locket would be very good just to deal with a lot of the damage that does come out. I believe the Glacial Shroud and the Aegis will build into the Zeke's Convergence, which will be very powerful for Cilion's autos.
Oh, there it is. Literally right on cue.
Yeah, but it could make for a very nasty combo. We will have to see, though, because there is a chance that even after you activate that Zeke's Herald in a teamfight, that most of the duration might be just taken up by the bullet time, which doesn't apply on hit effects. It can crit, but it won't be applying that Zeke's slow or the little explosions. Still, great item, though. We will have to see if he does go for the Gargoyle Stoneplate. I believe that TSM Plux might actually want a little bit of health first, because all the resistances in the world aren't going to do you much if you're running into a teamfight with 1,700 health, sadly. So we'll have to see what he builds next, since I'm not a Braum expert, but I'm going to assume that TSM Plux is a bit more of a Braum expert than I am.
Yeah. But here's going to be the engage here from Poom, and beautiful attempt at a knock-up here from Copy. And TSM Plux is going to be on the treat, but his beloved AD carry, Cilion, gets taken out here in the process. And 100 Thieves looks poised here for Baron.
Yeah, it did just spawn, though, and it might be a little hard to take even with the Ornn items, the Molten Edge on auto.
Ooh, and another engage here in the mid lane. Undefeated one tries to flash out of that Cataclysm, and they're going to retreat, but iStupid's looking to get deep into the fight. The flag and drag flash combo coming out from Kenvi, but Otto's looking, he's not done yet. He flashes over the wall, and they're still chasing, but they're going to have to stop as they're not able to follow through as deep as they would like to. Copy's going to focus on this turret. That's going to be the knockup here from TSM Plux. So much damage coming up from Tenacity, but again, the Soraka is the healing mean machine non-stop, keeping her members alive. Unfortunately, not able to keep Cillion alive, but that was really, I think, the sole reason why this fight didn't go that short. That's why it was an extended fight. Soraka was able to keep her team alive, and you can see by how hard 100 Thieves was trying to get in there, but they really just couldn't.
Yeah, and in the end, all of that time was spent just to pick up a single kill and a single tower, so the Soraka is definitely paying off, and Otto even getting the Executioner's Calling right now, a very wise decision. But it also means, since he doesn't have a Zeal item complete right now, the lack of attack speed will definitely be felt on him. So we'll have to see how that affects his DPS in teamfights. I mean, granted, when you even upgraded Ornn Infinity Edge and the Essence Reaver on Xayah, you are still going to be pumping out a ton of damage. Just not going to have as much attack speed, and that will hurt a little.
Yeah, the Zeke's convergence going to be matched here by Poom, as he's looking to help at least get a little bit more damage for Xayah in the team fight. The upgraded Infinity Edge going to help definitely. And I think that's kind of the focus here for Copy, to try to get Xayah up and rolling. But so far, both of these teams kind of neck and neck. Only 1,000 gold separating them here at the 23-minute mark. Dragon going to be the next objective. 20 seconds, going to be spawning. It looks like 100 Thieves isn't really that ready for it, as the Horizon starts to pile into the river and clear out the vision.
Yeah, and these Ocean Dragons are actually going to be very huge, especially for Star Horizon Esports, because, I mean, we've already seen how nasty the Soraka heals are in teamfights. Now imagine if you just have the constant Ocean regen as well. That'll be so much to deal with. And also, since Soraka does have to pay 10% of her max health, I believe, every time she presses that Astral Infusion, the heal on her W, that having the constant regen will also help her a ton. I mean, granted, 100 Thieves were able to scoop up that dragon there, so not going to be happening for now, at least, but it does mean iStupid is able to get that top inner turret and get some pretty decent work done on that top inhibitor turret. He does also have the Lich Bane too, so he is gonna shred through turrets.
Ooh,
So
Otto doing so much damage off the Stone Whipping. But, ooh, excuse me, Copy gonna be looking here. Try to create some opportunities here. That's gonna be the Ornn Horn coming through, and Soraka gets caught with her pants down in the mid lane as they manage to take out a kill here, but they're not able to continue as they are slowed down here. Pumi's not able to move forward, but the potential the potential Baron dance is going to start here. But still, 4v5 means Horizon is able to potentially get something cooking, as in the mid lane, Xayah takes out Misfortune. TSM Plux falls, the double kill going over to Xayah. Copy finishing off that third kill, and that's going to mean Baron here for 100 Thieves, unless Stone Whipping has got the steel of a god, as he's poising himself to try to get in there. Copy
is blind, though.
Oh my god, the blind knockup! Gonna be coming out from Poom, and they take him out. Otto is on a rampage. Beautifully executed. They're able to seek him out, and the Baron going over to 100 Thieves. Wow, beautiful stuff here from that fight.
Yeah, that was in total a 5-0 in the favor of 100 Thieves there, and the Baron, so they've really blown this game wide open. It's only a quote-unquote 6,000 gold lead right now, but it should be exploding in the next few minutes as they start making some work on towers and other structures like that. Undefeated one, encountering a lot of minion block there. That was a little funny, but hey. Minion block's nothing new.
I really do think that it was kind of neck and neck up until this point. That fight really didn't go in the way of Horizon, and really what caused it is that they were split. You know, Stone Whipping was trying to get a good flank, but in the process ended up watching his team kind of die off to the side. iStupid as well, and really all the perfect elements for a team fight that went right for 100 Thieves. Now they're looking to get a little bit more as they're in their jungle. Stone Whipping here in a little bit of trouble. The Flash does manage to come out. Copy gonna send that Ornn ultimate off to the side. And they're really just kind of walking around like headless chicken. No waves actually pushed up. Top is reset. Mid needs to be pushed up a little bit more. And iStupid just pushed bot wave up further. But now we're going to see these minions really start to do work as they're knocking on these tier 2s.
Yeah, and now with the whole entire... Oh,
Oh
Parallel
my
conversions.
god, the bullet time coming out, and I Stupid actually gets caught in the process, and TSM Plucks here, he's going to be the next to fall, but Soraka keeping her team alive. Kenvy's in trouble, and he flashes off to the side, but is executed right behind the barnyard doors by Asilian, but they're still looking for more. Otto's coming in from hot from the side. The triple man knockup, the double man knockup is clean as they clean up 4 in this mid lane. With Asilian watching his team members fall, they're knocking on the inhibitor doors.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything Asilian can do right now. This might actually just be the game. Grand Death Timers are still slightly lowish. We will be seeing Ice Stoop back up in about 10 seconds, but this is still a Baron buffed up wave with a entire double cannon, actually. So let's see how quickly these towers fall. As a
my
flash.
goodness! Otto, these are kids! These are teenagers. Asilian's looking like in trouble, but Poom actually has to use the stopwatch to survive. Ice Stupid falling a little bit low. Tries to take out Otto. Not going to have enough damage, and they're going to turn their sights onto the turrets. Here comes Stone Ribbon. He's looking for that final kill. Poom, he gets the knockup. They take him out in the process. Beautiful play. Here comes Copy with the knockup. Tenacity's looking to take him out. That's going to be another one. Copy bites off too much that he can chew, but still in the process, the Nexus doors are starting to fall. Otto is an absolute monster, doing everything that he can to keep his team alive, knocking out players left and right. And with the Nexus falling, 100 Thieves takes game number 1 here in week 3 of the Ocean Division.
Yeah, and it was fairly even up until that Baron play happened. The 5-4-0 straight into the Baron. That was what ultimately ended the game here and netted 100 Thieves their first win in this best of 3. Granted, Horizon Esports, they did show some signs of life, and they were keeping it even up until then. Like, we were just talking about how they're able to stay alive for so long thanks to that Soraka, and also just how much damage they could put out thanks to that misfortune. So I'm curious to see what both these teams do in the next game, especially Horizon, since they might just be the Titan killers here.
Yeah, absolutely, and we talked about it at the beginning before that we got into that match, that Horizon might be the team that knocks 100 Thieves off their kind of, well, both teams really are perfect going into week 3. One team has to go home with the L, unfortunately, but Horizon did look really, really good in that game, and you were talking about how Horizon's plan kind of going into this set really needs to be to find that thing, that comp that works for them, that is able to beat 100 Thieves. Soraka seems to be a big pain point. Echo seemed to be really, really efficient here in that mid lane, but that was due to the Ornn matchup. You know what I mean? There's just so many variables that Horizon really needs to rethink going into this next match.
For sure, yeah, and it will be very interesting to see how they adapt. Because, like you said, the Soraka was working out well for them, the Echo was working out well for them, even the Rek'Sai was working out very well for Stone Midden, but it just happened that that one fight messed up really badly, and then that kind of led to the game just completely collapsing on its head.
For sure. Now, as we wait to get into game number 2, we are going to go to a short little break. So don't you go anywhere. We're going to be back with some more Upsurge Premier League action after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Upsurge Premier League, where the first game has gone over to 100 Thieves next. If you're just joining us, I'm David Seymour Rabinovich, and alongside me I've got Jack Capone. We've got ourselves a set on our hands here, Jack. How are you feeling so far?
Pretty good based off of game number one, because this series is honestly anyone's so far. And we'll have to see, because game number two is going to tell us a lot. I mean, obviously, it's a best of three, so if Horizon loses again, then it's like, yeah. But what's going to be really telling is, will Horizon be able to put up another fight again, be able to improve on their last game's performance? Or will have 100 Thieves just figure them out, and will they just be able to just kind of break Horizon's kneecaps and just run over them, so to speak?
Yeah, if you are currently in the chat and you're a Horizon Esports fan, now is more time. This is the time for you to provide your support and show your support for Horizon Esports. I already know that the chat is filled with 100 Thieves fanboys, but right now is your time. I don't even know. Is there a hashtag for Horizon Esports? I don't know, but right now is your time to shout out your favorite player, shout out your favorite team, and give them the support. Because if they lose this game, 100 Thieves is going to walk away with the win this week, which again, still not a bad thing regardless.
Yeah, it would put 100 Thieves at a 3-0 record, though, and it will mean that they've defeated everyone else in the division. And not to mention, if they've done it all in a convincing fashion, except for potentially Horizon Esports, depending on how well the series goes, it could mean a lot for the weeks coming ahead. And then this might just be a semi quote unquote group of death for the other teams in this league, since I mean, if 100 Thieves is just 100% winning everything and just leaving the group with 100% win rate, that means you only really have one spot to fight for, and you have two other teams to fight against. So 1 in 3 odds aren't as good as 2 in 4 odds.
I still think if you're sorry. I still think if you're Horizon Esports, you're still feeling pretty good. You're capable of taking the other two teams down, and 100 Thieves is really the only kind of David and Goliath story that you still have left to conquer. And at least that last game was shown that they have the potential to take 100 Thieves to a Game 3. Or if it was a best of 5 in playoffs, they have the potential to take 100 Thieves to that Game 5 or Game 4. But we are going to be heading into the draft of game number 2 with 100 Thieves next on the blue side and Horizon on the red side, with Diana being the first ban taken away.
Yeah, no surprise there. I believe we did see a Diana ban last game as well. Yep, that was leveraged last game as well by 100 Thieves, and take the Malzahar off the table too. So really trying to limit iStupid's pools here, because he does have his 3 big main champions being Echo, Malzahar, and Diana, and he's lost 2 of them so far.
Now the Yuumi again being taken away. Olaf being taken away for Kenvi. Still a very proficient jungler right now in today's meta. And Aphelios, understandable. The ADC is absolutely on a tear right now in the meta. And the first pick going over to 100 Thieves next. The Xayah going to be locked in here. A comfort pick again. Otto was insanely proficient last game on it. And now Horizon going to answer back with a few picks of their own.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if the Rakan's taken away here, because that was a lot of the reason for the Xayah's success last game. They did get the Lovers duo. But will TSM Plex be able to play the Rakan? Because he has played a decent amount of supports, but I don't think he's played too much Rakan in Season 10. It might just be the Leona here, actually. So trying to dissuade the Rakan with a counter pick, but I think we're still going to be seeing that Rakan either way here.
Leona here being picked up for Horizon. And that was banned away last match in the second phase. And although Leona did see a few tweaks here in 10.3, still going to be a very proficient engage support that might help kind of the Braum Blues. And the J4 are going to be taken away from Kenvi, which again, J4 being a comfort pick for Stone Whippin', so we expect to see very similar performance to last game where the Rek'Sai was working, just that the team kind of struggled as a full team. But now the remaining 2 picks here going to be picked into Thresh locked in. I actually spoke with Poom before the game today, and he said that his favorite support is Thresh. So getting the comfort pick of all comfort picks in the bot lane.
Yeah, no surprises there, because, I mean, Poom, he loves playmaking supports, and if you want a support synonymous with playmaking, that is definitely Thresh, just thanks to the Lantern, thanks to the Hook. Those are just two both super potent tools for making any sort of play happen that you could dream of, so we'll have to see how he operates on his favorite champion this game, because he will be going against the Leona Misfortune, and Leona, not exactly the target you usually want to hook into your team, for very obvious reasons.
The Elise being the last pick for Kenvi, and the Misfortune being answered back. I really think Horizon is getting all of their comfort picks. I'm hoping potentially for an Echo ban here from 100 Thieves, but the GP being taken away from Undefeated One, a comfort pick of his own. And you were saying how the Syndra can really go into the hands of Otto, but being banned away from Copy, really. That last ban now here for 100 Thieves. Gonna be the Soraka, and I really have to say that is the correct answer, as it was very annoying in that last game for 100 Thieves next.
Yeah, even with the lane swap to get the Cassiopeia top lane for Tenacity and just get him that super free lane, still, he wasn't... I mean, they went even in the lane, which is nice for the Cassiopeia, but it also means he wasn't winning lane either, and you would expect the Cassiopeia to be winning into the Soraka. But it does look like we might be getting to see Set versus Ornn in the top lane, because Set, he is still League's most recent champion, and that's always exciting to see.
Yeah, not to mention that very similar to Aphelios, very, very potent in the top lane. And that's going to be locked in here for 100 Thieves next. Now, we did see Tenacity a few weeks ago, in the very first weeks against Vital Point with the set, and he was an absolute monster. So you can expect Tenacity to really give us a show here in the top lane, and considering it's against Ornn, one of the most kind of turret-hugging top laners, if I'd kind of say it. But the Ziggs here going to be the last pick for Copy, and we did see that as well in week number 1 for Copy.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, actually, because they're blind picking the Ziggs as well, potentially, here, unless that's an Ornn mid lane here for Horizon. But still, Ziggs is not exactly a champion that's been quote-unquote meta for ages unless you play ARAM. Because the last time he was really meta was way back in Season 4, I believe, and there's the Ezreal locked in.
Wow.
I don't know how well that's going to go against the Ziggs, because Ezreal doesn't really have any wave clear outside of the True Shot Barrage, but, I mean, Horizon could be swapping up where people are going here on their team comp, so we don't even know if that's an Ezreal mid as of yet.
To be fair, I don't think Ornn would really want to face into a Ziggs, if I'm being honest. I think the Ornn would much rather take the set, but we're going to have to wait and see, as this is obviously pro draft, so we do need to wait a little bit of time before the players get into the lobby, or rather, they're already in the lobby, but get into the game with that 3-minute delay that is quite standard for League of Legends. But these two teams, very, very different draft from before. Obviously, the Xayah still coming out, but now instead of the Rakan, Thresh engages different than Rakan. You know, with Rakan, it's kind of you blink and you miss it, and he's already got 3 of your members charmed up, and the knock-up is just soon to follow. But with Thresh, you're looking to kind of pick people out of position. But to kind of go back to these two teams as you see their rosters one more time, talk to me a little bit about, just similar to what we did last match, the win conditions for both of these teams and what they're looking to accomplish throughout this match.
Before I get into that, just one quick heads up that Ezreal that was selected for Horizon is actually a Zoe. So that is going to be mildly different than the Ezreal, yes. But in terms of win conditions, if you look at the side of 100 Thieves, when you have that set, when you have that Elise, when you have that Thresh, that screams pick, pick, pick. Like, I mean, you can't get more picky than that, really. And
Yeah,
then, of course, you have the Ziggs who wants to siege, but I honestly think the Ziggs is more just for being a wave clear bot for the
yeah,
side of 100 Thieves.
yeah.
Not so much to help with anything. You do have the Mega Inferno Bomb, which can help with picks. Because if there's a pick in the river and you're still mid, you just tuck that bomb right on over and you help out with the kill. But, I mean, if you look at the start of Horizon, they also have a lot of pick themselves with the Leona, with the Jarvan, with the Ornn, with the Zoe. That is very, very potent. And they also have a lot of long range ways to start off the team fight with the Solar Eclipse, with the Cataclysm after the Flag and Drag, and of course with the Ornn Horn. So a lot of things both of these sides are going to be having to look out for. And the carriers aren't probably going to be having the most dandiest of days, to put it lightly, with all the things that might be potentially jumping both of them.
I do have to say though, last match we did see a little, although it was very team fight heavy, of course. Um, it's gonna happen, especially when the Soraka is just gonna be looking to heal up her entire team. And 100 Thieves was just looking to try to execute somebody, but it was obviously a difficult and tall task. In this specific match, we're still going to see a very similar style to what 100 Thieves kind of played last game, where they still were able to isolate, or at least they were attempting to isolate certain targets, but now their job is just going to be that much easier with the Elise potentially flanking, Tenacity going to be flanking on the set, Thresh going to be looking for picks or rotating around in the jungle. Horizon still really wants to team fight. Zoe's obviously going to be kind of that variable that really isn't a part of that team fight. Zoe's going to be looking to try to pick off kind of straying targets, and that's going to happen in this match anyways. You've got an entire roster, or really a triple threat core in Thresh, Elise, and Set that are going to look to sideline anyways, and Zoe's going to be the one that tries to pick them off. The rest of the roster is really just looking to team fight. You still have the MF. You still have a Leona that's going to go in, try to set up a play. Jarvan and Ornn are going to try to combo things together with the Leona, and then the Zoe's just kind of that side variable, as I said before. But still, nevertheless, both of these teams, completely different champion pool this time around, and it's going to be interesting to see how kind of the early game pans out, because it seemed to go either way last game.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, that Zoe for Horizon is going to be the wild card here because on the side of 100 Thieves, no one except for Set really wants to be taking a Sleepy Trouble bubble because if you land out on anyone else, you instantly blow them up. You'll have to repel if you're the Elise. As Thresh, you might as well kind of just die unless you have a decent amount of magic resist built up, and then just kind of forget about it as Ziggs and Xayah, unless of course Xayah does have the ultimate, the Feather Storm. Still,
Mm.
though, having to use your ultimate just because one little basic ability landed, that is always a little bit of a yikers.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, before we get into the matches, we do have a few more minutes still remaining. We do want to say a quick word about our sponsor, definitely a sponsor that has helped the Upsurge Premier League get to the stature that it is today, and that is Midwest Esports. Midwest Esports has been around for many, many years, starting as a small student group out of Wichita State University, but since then, Midwest Esports has grown to be a veteran organizer to tournaments and events throughout the U.S. They host tournaments for games like League of Legends, Rocket League, as well as Overwatch, and there's going to be more to come. For more information, check them out at MidwestEsports.com. Now, kind of going back to both of these teams as we tick down the last few remaining minutes before we get into this match. 100 Thieves is obviously looking to kind of close this one out, and you could really tell by the composition that they've drafted. They're going to look to capitalize on Horizon's mistakes. But going into game number 2, if you're in the shoes of Horizon Esports, what are you hoping to accomplish in this upcoming match?
Well, obviously win for one, but that's the obvious one. But in terms of game plan, I mean, I do feel like a lot of it's going to come down to the jungler here, or on the Jarvan Stone Whipping, because he can make a lot of things happen and get his team ahead. But not to mention, he can be the one to start off a lot of team fights if he decides to go in first. And he can set up a lot of wombo, because if you lock enough people in that Cataclysm, that's a very easy bullet time. That's a very easy Leona ultimate. That's a very easy call of the Forge God from Ornn. So We'll have to see. I do believe a lot of it's going to come down to Stone Whipping, but he hasn't been one to disappoint so far. So I feel like Horizon's trust is placed in very good hands.
Absolutely, and not to mention that this is a comfort pick for Stone Whippin. Jarvan and Rek'Sai seem to be kind of the go-to junglers. Obviously, of course, we have to mention that Olaf and Lee Sin being banned out, but that was banned out from the side of Horizon. That's something that they don't want to see Kenvi play. Obviously, still getting a comfort pick in Elise. The Jarvan is something that I think in the early rotation of the pick and ban was something crucial for Stone Whippin to get in order to get the win here and take us to game number 3. But 100 Thieves Next is still trying to answer back with kind of, their own comfort picks, so to speak, and the Elise is going to be that one that
30 seconds
looks like they
until
might
the
actually
next
decide to invade. Not so much so the classic fan out. TSM Plux and Stone Whippin hiding in the river brush. Otto decides to rear his head into the river, try to scout something out. The pings do come out. And Elise decides to invade into the red side. Ooh.
Minions have spawned.
Spiderling, actually, I'm not even sure if that's going to get spotted out here from Undefeated One. As it looks to be a standard start coming out from Horizon.
Yeah, pretty standard, except for the bot lane tower hug. It does look like Poom and Otto are going to try for a bit of deep vision there, but opt not to drop a trinket, which is interesting. Instead, opting to drop it in the river.
Ooh, TSM Plux caught literally between a rock and a hard place, but manages to make his way out. Asilian taking a little bit of damage. And you can see they're playing incredibly aggressive. They know that the junglers started red side, so they can take advantage of this first wave to try to zone them off from experience and get that early level 2 to start the scuffle.
Yeah, because Thresh level 2 is pretty nasty. Ooh, the Zenith Blade, very close to hitting. If that had hit, that might have been a flash blown, but the Flate instead coming out, and Asilion already below half health, already having to chug that potion. Here's Stone Whipping, though, looking for a gank. No potential for a counter gank, so this could be brutal.
Ho-ho! That's going to be the flag and drag combo. The Ignite ticked away, but the hit coming out from Jarvan going to seal the deal here onto Poom. The heal used for Otto and the flash as well for Thresh, whereas only one summoner was used from Leona, and that's going to secure the kill. Wow, first blood going over to Horizon. Let's have a quick look at that and see how that unfolded and how it started off here in the bot lane.
Yeah, it's just a classic matter of they're pushed up way too far, and even though it's a level 1 Leona, still the Zenith Blade is a lot of CC, so easy flag and drag in, easy bop with that Cadence Auto. And that is first blood picked up here for Horizon, similar to last game, although unlike last game where we saw that they took a very heavy toll health-wise and summer-wise, this time around, it only costs them the Ignite, which is absolutely massive. I mean, granted, Otto does still have his flash, Poom still does have his own Ignite too.
My God, I don't mean to interrupt, but this top lane is absolute brutality. 21 CS to 6, and that's not going to even potentially be the amount that...
Junglers.
The smite actually comes out, and the fight comes out here from Kenvi. He's falling a little bit low. The scuttle goes over to Stone Whippin. But this top lane is brutal for Undefeated One. As Tenacity is just walking all over him, manages to get himself a longsword. He's looking good and feeling good in this top side.
Yeah, and it is not going to get too much easier even after Undefeated One itemizes some armor. That's still going to hurt, because Haymaker does a ton of true damage, and just, oh, the Leona.
Ooh, here comes Zoe looking for it. That's going to be the Sleepy Bubble. Trouble, make it double as I Stupid roams from the mid lane, but doesn't even need to support as the 2v2 is good enough. And Otto falls here, as well as Pumi. And this bot lane, what seemed to be so strong coming into this match, struggling here in the bot side with Misfortune. Cillian finding himself a kill, as well as Leona, going to make them feel good in that bot lane.
Yeah, and that's absolutely massive in the bot lane, like you were saying, because last time around, things were a little bit rough in the bot lane, even with that first blood pickup. It was still relatively even, but Now with 3 deaths put onto the bot lane here for the side of 100 Thieves, that is going to put him a decent amount behind, and we'll have to see what the item differential is on this back safe as Celion has enough for that BF sword. He is currently waiting, so he's waiting on something, and it is going to be that BF sword, so that is going to hurt a lot on this Misfortune.
Yeah, not to mention now with the dragon up, it looks like Stone Whipping is going to try to get some momentum for his team. The first one being Ocean, which means that it can't be the Soul. We have potential for a Mountain, Inferno, or Cloud Soul. Stone Whipping here with TSM, just going to solo the dragon, but looks like the bot lane's going to rear its head through the river. And Otto's looking, the smite might come through, 2 wards come out. But Zoe's going to come to support from the side. The hook connects. And now they're going to turn their attention onto that bot lane. The TP comes in from Ornn. They're committing all the resources for this. And Poom off to the side leads them on a circus. And Otto as well manages to run to the turret but not manage to survive. And now this bot lane is starting to crumble. And 100 Thieves needs to answer somehow.
Yeah, and we'll have to see because it's certainly not going to be in plating advantages in both the solo lanes. It does translate to a bunch of CS advantage, though, because there is roughly 20 CS separating both the solo laners on Horizon Esports versus 100 Thieves. But, I mean, they also did get assists out of that. Sure, Undefeated one only got that singular kill, but thankfully he now does also have that Ocean Dragon buff, so having that constant missing health regen in a lane that he isn't really having the best of time in is going to help out so much. Oh, Zenith Blade going to narrowly miss, but look for the Q.
Oh, baby, the stun actually connects, and Kenvy's on the retreat. The stun connects of his own. Kenvy's got moves, too, and the root comes out, but that's not enough damage. Otto falls here from Misfortune, and now Zoe's coming in hot, trying to clean up anything, but there's nothing left to clean up, as Otto is starting this game 0-3.
Yeah, and we have a replay here that we're going to get into in just a second here, just to see, because what starts off as a potential pick in what looks like a 3 versus 2, including the Ziggs ultimate, actually turns around because Stone Whipping is in the area. TSM Plex able to get out of that, and just the flag and drag to knock up Otto, let him eat those extra autos. Kind of sealed his fate there, and now he's 0-3 on the side compared to the 2-0 Asilion. Absolutely massive, and it all kind of comes down to Stone Whipping because he's just been consistently around this bot lane, and that's happened to be the right place at the right time consistently this game for the past 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, if the production team can, I'd love to see the goal difference here so far in the match. We can see that Asilion is up 1,100 gold, well actually just 1,000 over Otto, and that's going to be a huge difference like you're saying. And especially in this bot lane where now they're starting to rotate to that top side and looking for that Rift Herald control. They might turn that into a tower bot lane, but it looks
copy.
like Stone Whipping is looking for copy. That's going to be the satchel, sends him flying, and that's going to be a Cataclysm gone down under, but they're still able to control this Rift Herald now as the bot lane makes their way up.
Yep, and pretty interesting, but it does look like the transition is going to be just grab this Rift Herald, use it top lane because your bot lane is so far ahead. But I'm kind of curious what that means for the bot lane here, because that is a lot of free time. That is a lot of time to catch up on CS furthest behind bot lane. But I do think the call is potentially dive top, Tenacity wisely backing off, and looks like the Herald's going to be popped.
Yeah, and I think that last second ward from Tenacity is going to be what seals the deal here. They're going to look like they're going to get this turret. Zoe tried to roam to that bot side, but had to answer Ziggs in the mid lane. And they actually might answer. Tenacity showing in this top side means that he's able to try to dissuade them even for a millisecond. And in this moment, the bot lane, every second counts. And they might be able to answer this bot side turret, which you don't want to trade. You got the Rift Herald to get that top side advantage. And then now they're really close to getting that turret in the bot side. We do have the camera. Ornn making his way to that bot side, using the Ornn Horn to try to stop them. But they're hard committing. And they're going to be racing to that bot and top side with Ornn making his way down bot. Here comes Seth, the Master Dunk, going to take out Jarvan. And they're trying to turn their attention off to him. Ziggs going to clear that wave. and they're going to stop him dead in their tracks. And still, that bot lane continues to push in the bot side. I would not say that that was worth it.
Yeah, not indeed. Although that was half the health taken off that inner turret in the top lane, which is absolutely huge. And had it not been for the Mega Inferno Bomb from Copy, that could have been even more damage. But thankfully, they were able to stop it. But 100 Thieves, they weren't even able to crack that bot outer tower in response. So that is going to be absolutely massive in terms of objective. But Undefeated one, because of that, because he was just constantly zoned out, he now only has 44 CS at the 10-minute mark, which is very poor and just kind of speaks to how hard he's been zoned out all game.
Yeah, I mean, when you're Ornn, he's definitely one of those champions where if you fall behind, you have a huge opportunity to turn it back around, especially with those items that he can upgrade. But now Horizon going to be looking to use their lead to get this Mountain Drafe. However, Kenvy's looking to try to create some opportunities here. Undefeated one gets flayed in the process. Stone Whippin's going to eat a couple of grapes. Undefeated one eats that last one. Dragon's falling dangerously low. Copy flanks in from the side, does a lot of damage, but Stone Whippin's looking to follow up, and he actually gets satcheled, but Asilian flashes over, and they take the Dragon in the process, and now they're on the retreat, but TSM Plux, he wants to have something to say about it. The Inferno Soul manages to come out, and the landscape changes, but still, a rocky engage onto Copy allowed 100 Thieves to take Dragon and this bot side turret, but Horizon looks to answer in the mid lane.
Yeah, and despite this huge kill disparity and the first tower, it was only a few hundred gold separating these two teams right now, and a lot of that just comes down to the CS differentials in the solo lanes, especially top lane. Like, it's absolutely massive. But can Otto get out of this?
We got trouble here as Otto flies up in the sky and gets absolutely decimated, but actually answers back with a kill. Tenacity TP's in from the side, and he's looking to fight it. Undefeated one here. TSM Plux is on the retreat. Kenvy answers back with a kill, and what looked like to go into the favor of Horizon is now starting to crumble. Undefeated one's trying to bait out another fight as Sicilian and iStupid retreat back here onto this bot side. But they're not able to answer back, and Kenvy's actually in a little bit of trouble as iStupid's looking. Bubble not going to connect, and the Lantern going to take him to safety. Wow, what a beautiful fight. Let's have a quick look while we can and see how that unraveled.
Yep, here's the start of the fight, and it looks so good, but look at the teleport from Tenacity set, and I mean, Stone Whippin', he was already very low as soon as he jumped into that team fight, so instantly melted there, and TSM Plux, he's not getting out of this, even with the flash, just hard to get out of that, and they didn't really have any damage since Asilion wasn't there, and neither was iStupid. So it was just a couple of tanks went on the way. Oh, Coffee.
Oh, the last second Lantern coming out from Poom. And he's saying, you're not touching my mid laner. Even though the Sleepy Bubble managed to connect, Ziggs was not ready to fall asleep just yet. Actually using the cleanse to get out of that situation. Very, very handy in the game against Zoe here on iStupid, but the control of the river going to go over to Horizon. Not really much to take here, as they were just trying to get a skirmish. But I have to tip my hat to Stone Whippin' and TSM as they're roaming together as this kind of death squad, trying to pick anybody out of position.
Yeah, but has been working out too well in these past few minutes for Stone Whippin' and his partner in crime, because there they were so close, but in the end, they got a cleanse, and it cost them the bullet time and Stone Whippin's flash, so not exactly what you want to be seeing, and all that momentum that they had from the early game is starting to melt away a little. Ooh, decent Plux, he should be okay here, but there was a little bit of dangerous potential there.
Absolutely, and although Ornn here is freezing that bot wave, not really freezing, he's trying to push out as fast as he can. Set is constantly there to answer, and that creates opportunities in other lanes, especially when he's so far ahead. The second highest CS in the game, I can only imagine Set has a lot of money in the bank. One of the highest levels in the game as well, 2 levels above Undefeated one actually, which is going to create many opportunities, especially like the one in the bot lane, that TP flank. But now it looks like potentially we could see a fight in the mid lane as they fight for an objective. The Rift Herald is up. That might be the target here for Horizon Esports. But the dance has now begun for both teams for the Vision.
Yep, the dance that's as old as the test of time, the dance for Baron control, even though that it is not exactly Baron quite yet since we are still in the Rift Herald zone. But hey, always good to get warmed up for post 20 minutes.
Absolutely, and the control, as quickly as it was gained here from Horizon, is as quickly as it was lost and taken by 100 Thieves. Pink wards across the board in the river. Only one deep ward here for Horizon, but it's not really going to be scouting out any information of importance. As Tenacity looks to take this blue buff, Asilian trying to stop Otto from taking this topside turret. Jarvan's looking for something, but Poom and Otto respect that death roam coming out from Stone Whippin and TSM Plux.
Yeah,
as they're just kind of dancing back and forth, and no team is looking to really execute just yet.
Yeah, not quite yet. Although with the Infernal Dragon spawning here in under 10 seconds, we might just see triggers starting to be pulled here on both sides for the engage buttons. So, definitely something to keep an eye out here for.
Really hoping that they do, because 2 objectives, and you can see here that 100 Thieves next is giving up the Infernal Drake, which is going to help with the Infernal Soul for Horizon Esports, and opting in for the Rift Herald instead. They do have that topside control. In kind of the grand scheme of things, I don't know if I would have... I don't know, what's kind of your take on that? Was that worth an exchange? Considering it's Infernal Soul and Horizon got the Infernal Drake?
Potentially, although if that Rift Herald is used in the mid lane to break open this tower, that could be very huge and worthwhile, because a single Infernal Dragon, it only gives about 3% AD and AP, I believe, maybe 4%. I can't remember exact numbers off the top of my head, but it's basically really low. Like, for iStupid and Asilion, we're probably looking at maybe a longsword and half of an Antome right now. So, but the Rift Herald actually isn't going to be all that worth it, because it didn't even hit that mid tower, and it's going to be killed before it can hit that mid inner turret. So, not exactly the most worthwhile trade here for 100 Thieves. There was potential for it to be worthwhile for them, but not the best transaction in the history of League of Legends.
Yeah, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe since that mid turret still would have fallen kind of anyways. Well, actually, no, I think they used the Rift Herald to kind of secure it, and I think Horizon did the smart play and just let them take it instead and then get rid of the Rift Herald to make it kind of useless. But the reason why I was so kind of against this, the trade for the Infernal Dragon, is because there's another one coming up. And once Horizon activate the Infernal Soul, it's going to be very, very rough, especially with the bullet time, I think. It's going to hurt quite a bit.
Yeah, and not to mention, like, it's going to even help out the tanks too, because it will be applying on every spell, I believe. And even on a full tank like Ornn, or even on a Leona, it is going to really add up just thanks to the base damages. So that's definitely something that 100 Thieves doesn't really want happening. But that is still 2 Dragon buffs down the line, because Horizon are going to need another 2 Infernals before they get it. Granted, if Horizon does get a triple Infernal, that is a lot of bonus stats for iStupid and Asilion. So those bullet times and bubbles, they are going to hurt like a truck.
At the very bare minimum, 100 Thieves can definitely fight for that next dragon. I'm not saying that Horizon is obviously going to get it, but they're gonna want to fight for their life for it, considering it can give such a big bonus as the game progresses. And they're doing quite well for themselves right now, although 100 Thieves next has cracked all of the outer tier turrets, which is going to create some problems for Horizon, not being able to feel confident to step out past that river line. And they're having issues now in regards to that, putting in the deep vision to scout out these 100 Thieves players, which their sole purpose now is to try to catch Horizon out, which they can do with all these turrets cracked out.
Yeah, because they definitely have the tools as well to make those catches, and it just comes down to a matter of, do they have the vision control, and are they able to get someone off guard? We will have to see, though, because that is going to be very important. The Baron did just spawn, and we are going to have the second Inferno of the game popping up in about a minute 15 here. Both teams going to be wanting to eye that one up.
Ooh, boom. Finds himself a wild Stone Whip in the hook. Not going to connect, but even if it did, iStupid was there to support. Otto, Poom, and Kenvi going to be getting in deep on this red side jungle. Trying to get some deep vision in, and they were hoping to find somebody kind of in transition. So far for this bot lane, Tenacity, an undefeated one, have just kind of been going back and forth. Warren looking to contest this blue buff. Actually, the whole Horizon roster is, but they manage to catch undefeated one. Here comes Poom. He gets absolutely melted, but will that be enough? The bullet time is down. Tenacity falls in the process. Here comes the Ornhorn. Otto is not giving up this fight just quite yet. Uses the ultimate to get out of the Cataclysm, and iStupid is looking to kill a copy here in the process. Doesn't manage to do so, but Stone Whippin's running in hot, and he manages to get the tick here, and the shutdown gold goes over. They're dropping like flies as Kenvy's looking to be the next one. The flash over from Asilian, but the blast cone might be used, and the shutdown going over to iStupid with one last final member. They're chasing all the way to the Nexus to try to get Otto here. The sleepy bubble does connect, but the lantern, will it be enough? And no, it won't. iStupid on a killing spree. What a beautiful execution here, catching out all of the members, and that second Inferno going to be as good as theirs coming up next year in the river.
Yeah, and while they do that, Dragon, let's take a look at that team fight once again, because Horizon, they looked at their watches and said, oh hey, it's bullet time, because watch this bullet time absolutely shred the front line from 100 Thieves. It's instantly deleted. Sure, they lose Plex for it, but they also instantly lose Poom and Tenacity, and just after that, it's a matter of chasing everyone down and picking up the stragglers. Copy, he's trying his best to get out, but the red smite, one last Q does him in as well, and just the rest of the members. It's just kind of a very, very slow team fight, because there was enough time for Poom to die at the beginning of that team fight, and then we see him make one last entrance here to throw that lantern, but just a bit too late to say his 80 carry. And that's a clean 5 for 0 and another Infernal Dragon here for this Horizon roster. And it's gonna start adding up, especially if they get that third one, because that's also gonna give them that soul.
Yeah, and that's kind of the untold story here, as the gold differential isn't really that big, you know? But it's the Dragon difference that might make the difference in this match, as the Infernal is coming up next. And it's going to be obviously Horizon that tries to take it. And to be honest, if I was in the shoes of 100 Thieves, maybe the call is to trade it for Baron. Maybe the call is to fight for it. Regardless, 100 Thieves really needs to start thinking about the next 5 to 10 minutes. How are they going to start to swing the momentum back in their favor to try to create some answers for some of these problems that Horizon Esports is creating for them?
I mean, we've been saying it all game. They have a nasty pick composition with the picks they've lined up, but we just haven't seen that really play out so far. They've been getting a little pick themselves, as shown by that last team fight, or really punished for it. So, I mean, if 100 Thieves, they really want to make this work, that's how they do it. But also another differential is, of course, the split push potential, because Undefeated One, he still has roughly half the CS and is 2 levels down on Tenacity, so he shouldn't really be able to answer any split push shenanigans, even with that upgraded Ornn item for that Forged Sunfire Cape, I believe it is called. That's still not enough to deal with the Triforce and the Titanic Hydra coming out right now from Tenacity.
Yeah, and I think also a big kind of component that's been missed is Tenacity hasn't really been a part of these engagements, and that really might be the difference maker. Having somebody to get into that back line and create some problems for Asilian might be the answer that 100 Thieves really is looking for, and that's going to be on Horizon to not only engage, but provide good enough disengage for Asilian to have a successful bullet time. But again, it's going to be up to Tenacity to join these fights, as it looks like now it's just constantly pushing in these sideways, making sure that you're not pushed in. Because at any moment, it looks like either team could execute on really the only objective on the map, which is currently Baron. Until that happens, I don't think that anyone's going to get a tier 2. So they're just kind of farming every single wave, recalling, buying more, farming, recalling, buying more, until one of these teams executes. And it looks like it might be Horizon as they clear things out here.
Yeah, one thing to note, though, is that since Undefeated 1, he's past that level 12 mark, he's starting to push out the Forge Master items. We already see the Molten Edge complete for Asilion, and that should be an extra 30 attack damage for this MF, who's already been hurting. And keep in mind that 30 extra attack damage is also bolstered by a double Infernal. So, I mean, 100 Thieves, they're really going to have to stop that bullet time if they want to actually survive a team fight. But we'll have to see, because it is gonna come down to the next team fight a lot, I believe, because the next team that wins gets the Baron and breaks up in the game. Because this game is dead even right now. The only thing separating these two teams is just the Ornn items and the Dragons.
Which, speaking of which, is 40 seconds away. Set manages to push in that side wave, which is going to create the opportunity for 100 Thieves to try to poise themselves to fight for this Drake, as they definitely don't want Horizon to take this. But I think Horizon might be willing to give it up for a sweet treat called the Baron. But having Scuttle Control really is going to be the answer for 100 Thieves here, as they do have it in that Baron pit. And they're going to look to try to get Scuttle Control here as well. Ooh, Copy actually going to take here. Oh, Stone Whipping manages to do absolutely nothing. Hops in and hops right out back into the lobby as he's taken out from Ziggs. But 2 kills going over to Horizon, and now they're on the chase. They're looking to try to do as much damage as they can, but 100 Thieves is dropping like flies. And Auto, Copy running away. The Ignite's ticking away as well. Auto here in a little bit more HP. iStupid's going to be looking to try to get Copy here in the process. He's low on mana.
Bubble.
Manages to get Sleepy Bubble. He's asleep, and now he's dead. And that's going to be 4 kills going over to Horizon. And with the last Infernal Drake, they're looking good in this game too.
Good. They're looking damn fine right now. 5 to 16 in kills, and I mean, granted, the gold lead is still only 1.5k, but it is a bit of an invisible gold lead with all those extra Infernal stats, not to mention the Infernal Soul and the Ornn items. And if they get Baron as well, we could very easily see a huge gold lead. But there's the immediate teleport out from Tenacity. 100 Thieves know they have to do something about this Baron happening right now, because if they give this up, that could very easily beat the game. But a lot of ultimates are still not back up.
God, Set. He's looking to get in there. Asilian's falling dangerously low. The stun connects, and they get MF. But will they have enough damage to get rid of the rest of the members? Otto's going to take out Leona here in the process. Kenby backs off. The Baron's going to reset. They have successfully dissuaded the attempts, and now they're pinging the mid lane. They're looking to keep pushing. That's going to be the ward that falls down. And now these members of Horizon, they're starting to recall what a Baron that didn't successfully go their way. Tenacity gave his life for 2 members, and that's going to be worth as they try to break open this mid lane and get that second tier turret.
Yeah, that was absolutely crucial. Just a little bit too adventurous there from the side of Horizon. They got their cake and tried to eat it too, but sadly, respawn to the Ornn Horn.
Oh, they're looking to try to keep these engagements going. Stone Whipping not really too happy about it, as he doesn't have a band-aid for his HP, but it looks like Otto's going to need a band-aid as he gets popped by iStupid, but he's going to get stunned up here by the Ziggs, and the shutdown connects, but Stone Whipping answers back with at least the double kill, and Pumi falls here in the process as well, and these teams are just going back and forth and trying to stay alive in this game.
Yeah, and that Infernal Soul just giving so much value there in that team fight, just letting them finish off members and get all the damage they needed, as Baron might just be the call again. Keep in mind, Ken is dead right now. Otto is dead, so is Poom. Sure, I Stupid is dead, but it's a 4-2 advantage right now, and it's really up to Tenacity and Copy to thwart this. But there's the Solar Flare.
Copy's in trouble, but Seth's trying to die for his sins, saving Private Ziggs, and they almost get a Cillian in the process. Yes, they do, and Ziggs is looking to get some more. He's trying to throw out everything that he can. He almost takes out Leona here in the process, and they're running away, their tail between their legs, as they leave the Baron pit wide open for 100 Thieves to swoop in and try to take it for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely massive there, and a heroic play coming out once again, and the Baron's being started up. Stone Weapon, it's going to be up to him on this Jarvan to try and get it. But there are a lot of wards he has to go through, and this Baron is already down to half. Can he do it?
Looks like they're just trying to get it down. Stone Whipping looking. He puts the flag and drag in, but it's not going to be enough. And they actually make away with the Baron. This game is neck and neck. Just when you think Horizon has got the chokehold that they need to close out the match, 100 Thieves doesn't tap out. Instead, they reversal right onto Horizon, take the Baron right underneath their feet, and are poised to try to knock down another Tier 2.
Yeah, and at the Baron buff and a Ziggs, that can be so obnoxious because it is hard to push back, but every time you have a minion wave come up, Ziggs just instantly throws the bouncing bombs at it, instantly throws out the Hexplosive Minefield, and kills it. Also, something else to note is that we have 2 minutes and 20 till the Elder spawns, and I believe 100 Thieves will still have Baron buff available then. And they'll be able to get lane prio in every lane they want before that happens, and that'll be crucial.
Yeah, and you can see a beautiful graphic here in the bottom left side. The Baron Nashor timer, we have one that's ticking away. And it's not going to be exact, but they're going to be timed out by just about 2 seconds. Baron is going to be off with 2 seconds until the Elder will spawn. But they're going to get this second tier turret in the bottom lane. And potentially the mid lane as well, as the top wave crashes in favor of Horizon. But still, they have the potential to take another Tier 2 in about 1:30, but I think they might just try to set up for this Elder.
Yeah, perhaps, because if Horizon gets the Elder, that's going to be absolutely huge.
Oh,
but if 100 Thieves gets the Elder, Otto.
That Lantern is going to be good. Otto makes it out. And looks like they're going to try to return. The Ornhorn not going to be available for this next fight if it happens in the next 60 seconds or so. But the rotation over to that mid lane, Tenacity not having the Baron buff, going to mean that this turret survives just a little bit longer. But the threat from TSM and Stone Whipping, they're walking up, they're not afraid. But now the rotation over to that bot side, Ziggs going to find himself in a little bit of trouble. Manages to dissuade TSM Plucks by taking him down to 50% HP. But Otto himself as well, getting chunked out a little bit. But with 30 seconds remaining, it looks like they might just set the recalls, go home, and set up for this Elder, which is going to spawn in 30 seconds.
Ooh, these two members might be caught out. Look at Tenacity. If Stone Weapon wants to go in on him, he certainly can. But Asilian has to be careful himself, because I'm pretty sure Tenacity wins that 1 versus 1 against this Misfortune.
Yeah, you blink and you miss it for sure. Misfortune isn't the tankiest member of Horizon, of course. But the Elder is about to spawn in about 5 seconds. They managed to find I Stupid caught in a little bit of a sticky situation. Tenacity comes in from the side, and Stone Whipping's in trouble. The Guardian's Angel falls, and Misfortune's off to the side. She's looking for the right time. Doesn't actually find a bullet time that finds too many members. They manage to stun Undefeated One. This is a fight that they want. Elder has been started by Tenacity. He backs off here, and the fight still continues. I Stupid is looking for whatever CC that he can connect with Zoe. But Tenacity off to the side is just trying to pull the members away as they collapse. Now Asilian in a little bit of trouble. The 1v1, like you said, now going to start. The stun actually not going to connect. Tenacity, huge Sterix gauge, going to keep him alive. And now they're going to turn their attention off onto the Elder Drake, as Tenacity has to recall. He does have that TP that's going to allow him to come back in. They're going to do a lot of damage here onto TSM Plux. Sicilian looking for something, but not going to be able to find it. TSM Plux goes in. They actually manage to shut down Ziggs, but they take their dragon. This is their opportunity to fight. One more attack is going to pop here, and the TSM Plux is going to pop from the Elder Drake. Tenacity off to the side, takes out Zoe, and they're looking good. They're pushing in. Undefeated One's going to be the next one. He uses the heal. The stun going to connect, and he's going to fall here as the shutdown goes over to Kenvi, and they're pushing in, and they're looking to get an inhibitor turret as they want to try to close this game out now.
And they might just be able to. There's 30 more seconds till iStupid and another 40 till Undefeated One. All that's up is Asilion and Stone Whipper. Sure, they do have their combo up of the Cataclysm and Bullet Time, but will it be enough? I don't think so here, because that tower is dropping so quickly, and the Bullet Time just used to dissuade them off of it. It'll keep them off for now, but still, that is a lot of damage done to the Horizon base.
Now we do have that timer off to the side. They have about 1:30 on Elder Dragon. They can just reset, push down that mid lane, but within the Elder Dragon, they'll be able to fight for Baron, and that is absolutely key in 100 Thieves' win condition to win this game. And Horizon definitely know that. They're getting the scuttle here, gaining control, pushing out their vision line, and that's going to keep them aware of the potential win condition for 100 Thieves. With this Elder Dragon, they'll be able to fight for Baron, and Horizon definitely does not want that.
Ooh, that hook just narrowly missing. That landed, that would have been huge. Even though the Baron's not up for another 25, keep in mind, I mean, death timers now are much longer than 30 seconds, so that would be at least 15-ish seconds of free time for 100 Thieves to just look at that Baron and do whatever the hell they want to.
Especially considering the GA is down for Stone Whippin'. It was quite helpful before. It wasn't able to keep him alive in that last fight as he fell immediately after. Now with the entire 100 Thieves roster poised in the mid lane, extending their vision line in order to get control here of this Baron pit, but at least now going to find herself caught between a rock and a hard place, but still squeezing through. Sleepy Bubble not going to connect. The Baron has started. That's going to be the Vision Ward in the pit. Here comes Tenacity. He's looking to slam dunk. Welcome to the jam. Stone Whippin' is in trouble. He falls in the process. Actually stays alive. Resurrecting here, coming out from Tenacity. The Bullet Time connects. Shut down onto the jungler. That's going to be key. Asilion continues. He takes out Tenacity, and they're going to back off as everyone is dangerously low. The minions are knocking on the Nexus. They're looking to try to stop the backs and do what they can to keep them from going back. And as you can see here, the minions are knocking. They take out one Nexus turret. Every single fight can be so detrimental, especially in a case like this where they lost a turret even though they convincingly won the fight.
Yeah, and that's just the problem of having it down to inhib, but still, that fight was absolutely massive, and we do have a replay here that we're going to get into so we can see it more in depth. But we look at the start of the fight here, instant engage coming out from Tenacity, but he's all alone. Look at where the rest of his team are. They aren't doing anything thanks to that pull time zone. Sure, he has the GA, but instant pop coming out from iStupid, and then Tenacity instantly dies as soon as he gets out of that GA. So nothing much they could do there, and that Guardian Angel being down for Tenacity is a very, very huge cooldown, because Tenacity, he is going to be the first man in for his squad, and sure, Set is decently tanky, but he's not a full tank. He isn't going to go in and tank an entire team for days. Sure,
he does
can
have
take
the
a lot of
stopwatch. He does have the stopwatch. It's going to help him out at least for the next fight. And I think he purchased that. He had the elixir before. I think it's called the Blood Wrath elixir. I'm not exactly sure. Obviously using it for that fight and able to buy that stopwatch now. Going to be taken a little low here by the Baron, but the dance will continue, as Infernal Dragon will be up in 1:30, and the waves keep pushing, and they're not answering it, even though Ornn does have TP. He can be in that side lane and come back when needed.
Yeah, he has to go over right now, and we see him doing exactly that. And the Staris instantly popped on Tenacity. Good lord, Stupid is doing a ton of damage on the Zoe. Almost full build here, has the Rabadons, has the Void Staff, and the Torque Boots. But Baron is being started up here. Undefeated one, he's gonna have to teleport in for this.
Oh no, 5,000 HP, the TP does come out from Ornn, they do back off. But Horizon's looking to push in, and they're pulling out all the stops. Tenacity's in trouble. The knockup comes out from Poom, but he's going to be the only member. Now it's a 3v1 here off to the side, and 100 Thieves is looking to try to do as much damage as they can, but Tenacity dies for nothing. And as 100 Thieves is looking to try to push down the river, they're not going to be able to get any members nowhere near low enough to make it worth it. And Tenacity sent back to the fountain. But this is going to be Horizon, a Cillian in the mid lane, pushing down, catching 100 Thieves out of position. Poppy going to be here to push the wave out, and that's going to be very handy, having that wave clear. Boom, not going to connect with anything. Cillian being able to just sprint all over the map, but now Elder spawning. 100 Thieves needs to answer, even with Tenacity down, with 20 seconds remaining. Will they have time to stall? Cillian now starting here, the Elder Drake. Non-stop action here in the Upsurge Premier League. 100 Thieves poised to try to answer somehow. With this Infernal Drake, it would make Horizon absolutely brutal to face. Poom in trouble. He's drowsy. He's dead. Otto trying to do what he can, but now is it going to be enough? TSM Plux finds himself in a sticky situation. Heals and flashes and survives. Kenvi trying to get in there and do what he can. Copy takes out Leona, but that's not going to be enough. Here comes the Ornn. Tenacity's looking. He takes the Elder Drake. The man is a monster. He slams. He dunks. He Zanyas. And now Jarvan here falls in the process, and he's going to continue to fight with Copy here in trouble. Stupid still takes out Xayah. I'm losing my voice because this game is hype, and they walk away with the Elder Dragon.
Absolutely massive play there by Tenacity. Immediately teleports as soon as he's up and steals the Elder Dragon with the command and slam. But what is it going to cost his team, though? Because they've already lost 3 of their buffs, and this mid tower is looking juicy. Look at those Zoe auto attacks. That was 4 auto attacks, 6 auto attacks. Ooh, Tenacity. Not able to keep up to Stupid, though, thanks to the passive move speed. But still, good lord. A lot of events just unfolded there. And we're still dead even.
Yeah. This game is so back and forth. Both of these teams going head to head in an absolute bloodbath. And I think we were right to say that Horizon is very capable of taking down the monster that is 100 Thieves next. 15 to 28 kills. With most of them being on Stupid, 14 to 2 on Zoe. And he's really shown his prowess on the champion this match, eliminating some of the high key targets and creating advantages for his team. Take these fights now.
Oh, the bubble landed.
Ooh, Poom's in trouble.
My god.
Oh, the Ornn gonna connect. He's still alive. No one gonna get knocked up in the process. Horizon looking for something. We're going to come up empty-handed here. And 100 Thieves next is pushed back with the Elder Dragon with 50 seconds remaining. They're not going to be able to really use it to its effect, but still taking it away from Horizon is just as good.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, we might have a little bit of a death brush being set up. We'll have to see, because the cocoon actually does land. That's a lot of damage.
Nice! Kill going over to Copy. As they catch Ornn out of position, as tanky as he may be, it's not going to be enough. Stupid comes up empty-handed as he goes fishing. Looking for a kill. The mid lane turret going to fall. As now they set their sights onto Baron with 10 seconds remaining. The Elder Dragon will now be gone, which will allow Horizon Esports to potentially contest. Well, not potentially. You best believe they're going to contest. They're not going to let this Baron fall for anyone. TSM Plux and Stone Whipping.
To contest, there is no bullet time.
Oh,
and
my.
It's just dead.
God. They had the Zoe. They had the opportunity to at least poke in, but they give the Baron up for free.
Yeah, that's not something you want to be. Oh my.
Maybe not for free.
Well,
maybe not for free.
One less Baron buff to deal with is pretty nice. Although Poom, probably the one who is going to be caring about it the least, because he will basically always be with Build up. One less Baron buff to worry about. He'll take that.
This is going to be 100 Thieves. Their opportunity to try to make a dent into this Horizon Esports squadron. As 100 Thieves Next is playing incredibly safe. And I completely respect the resolve that they have to just hover their finger over the trigger and only pull it when absolutely means necessary. Even with this 4K gold lead, it doesn't really mean much, as this is a very potent roster from Horizon Esports.
Yeah, not to mention, a 4K gold lead for nearly 45 minutes into the game doesn't really mean squat. Like, everyone's at full build, basically.
Yeah.
Only a few people trying to finish up still, and those Ornn items are going to be making a huge difference here, because at full build, item for item, each member on the side of Horizon Esports will have that extra roughly 1,000 gold in stats, so that's going to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, one thing I have to kind of note is the itemization from the supports. The limited amount of funds that they do have. The Locket over the Stone Plate with the Thresh versus the Leona. Of course, Leona's going to be getting in there, but the Locket going to try to create enough magic resist to keep team members alive against the Zoe invasion.
Something's happening.
Oh no, Elise caught in a little bit of a rough place. The bullet time gonna connect, and Thresh in a little bit of trouble. Uses the Zanya stopwatch, and now TSM Plux in a little bit of trouble. Manages to get the kill, but it does get traded out. Tenacity's going in deep, looking for the kill onto Jarvan. They managed to get the kill onto Misfortune, and that's gonna be absolutely key. Undefeated one is in a little bit of trouble as 3 members from 100 Thieves look to capitalize on it, and here comes I Stupid. Absolutely gets bitten by the spider, and now 100 Thieves knocking on the door. I Stupid disconnects from the game, and this looks like 100 Thieves walking away with a 2-0 victory.
And a tragic fight from Horizon. They had it, but they just went a little too far in and got absolutely decimated. That's going to cost them the series. And what could have nearly been their own game, at any point this game, they could have won. It just slips out of their hands, sadly, once again, thanks to that one last fight. And they're going to be remembering that one for a while, Simo.
Not to mention, we've got tons and tons of Upsurge Premier League content every single week. These two teams are going to be back. Maybe not next week, maybe not the week after that, but they will be back, and we will see Horizon try to re-strategize, try to rethink, because we did see David was tickling Goliath's toes in that match for sure, as 100 Thieves definitely felt the heat.
Yeah, for sure, and they were so close. They were inches from winning so many times, but losing the Elder twice, losing the Baron twice, it just became too much. Even with the Infernal Soul just helping out so much, they just weren't able to cinch it. They weren't able to cross that one finish line to get over and win themselves the game.
I'm not going to lie to you. I desperately wish that every LCS match was as close and back and forth as that. Right now, LCS, no shade, an absolute clown fiesta, as it always is. But this match was an absolute beauty to watch. We have to tip our hat to Horizon. We have to tip our hat to 100 Thieves. Both teams had their opportunities to try to edge out a victory. But again, 100 Thieves walks away with a 2-0 victory, making them undefeated so far in the Upsurge Premier League. And I'm pretty sure they got to be happy about that.
Yeah, they got to be really happy. But they were close to falling. We're talking about, was this the David versus Goliath moment? And Horizon Esports were pretty close, so 100 Thieves, they definitely aren't unbeatable. They have their weaknesses, and they did kind of show some cracks in the armor this week, it looks like. So other teams in the UPL, they're probably going to be looking at the series and starting to take notes of, hey, maybe we can start to find 100 Thieves kryptonite here, and that might make their results a little more shaky in the next few weeks, depending on how well teams adapt.
And not to mention the patches are obviously gonna create some hurdles for teams as they try to adapt to the new standard of play. With champions being nerfed consistently through the patches, we're gonna have to see people adapt, especially for Horizon. But I can guarantee you that Horizon will be back with a vengeance against 100 Thieves in the coming weeks. But as we close out today, I do want to have one last look at our sponsor, the last sponsor that we have here for today, Sector 6 Apparel. Sector 6 Apparel is a leading esports apparel company providing on-demand printing for groups of all sizes. Sector 6 Apparel designs comfortable and stylish for professional esports organizations and collegiate programs, as well as your very own Upsurge Esports. If you want premium esports clothing and would like to support us at the same time, head on over to Sector 6 Apparel at sector6apparel.com/collections/Upsurge-esports. Once again, that's sector6apparel.com/collections/Upsurge-esports. You can use the discount code UEREFER for 15% off of your first order. Check out Sector 6 Apparel today and rep Upsurge Esports or your favorite team in style today. Now again, both of these teams putting on quite the show for you. I hope that all of you enjoyed the show today, as we really enjoyed putting the show on for you. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Jack Goforino Capone for obviously joining me here on the cast, as well as our production team, Yeti, Preston, Impulse, or Pressy, as he likes to go by, for putting on the replays, the production quality. Really, really top-notch stuff. But again, I'm going to sign things off here for us on the desk, and we'll see you guys next week.